The rebels see themselves as fighting not only for a place to call home, but to put a permanent end to a cycle of modern-day violence. The first massacre of Tutsis in Rwanda was in 1959, when the growth of political consciousness among the majority Hutu led to desperate measures to overthrow minority Tutsi rule. The supremacist tendencies of the Tutsi are still a key factor in the politics of Rwanda. The rebels and government agree that Belgium must carry its share of the blame for the crisis.
It seems that the Belgians somehow identified more closely with the Tutsis and that they did use the existing divisions for their own administrative purposes. But then it also seems that when it looked as though majority rule in the sense of rule by the Hutus seemed an inevitability, then the Belgians almost switched allegiances and then supported a takeover by the Hutu majority.
Killers were members of Interahamwe, the militia of MRND CDR, and some of them were from this particular place. They know them.
This woman lost all her 6 children. The RPF was unable to defend Tutsi communities. When the president was killed, the rebel army controlled a relatively small zone in the north, surrounded by a demilitarized zone. It seized the opportunity to break out, advancing on 3 axes, one to the northwest, one to the east, and one towards the center, to reinforce its battalion in Kigali, posted there under the terms of a peace accord signed in the Tanzanian town of Arusha last year. Under the agreement, the government promised to guarantee the Tutsi-led RPF significant political and military representation. RPF soldiers would have made half the officer corps in a new unified army.
So who in Rwanda didn't want the accord to be implemented?
Well, I think we have to look at it on 2 stages. It's no doubt whatsoever that the late president was reluctant about the implementation of the accord because, for the very obvious reasons, it was going to take many of his powers away from him. But also there were groups which I think were more extreme than the late president. There were more extreme groups within his own party, and there were also members of another party called the CDR who felt that the accord was just selling out to the RPF, and they really did not want the accord implemented.
To prevent the RPF increasing their power, Hutu hardliners were prepared to jeopardize Rwanda's future. The RPF contributed to the infighting, but hardliners instigated it.